Thank you for joining us for this session today. My name is Victor. I'm leading Trello Admin Experience team at Atlassian. We have some exciting news today to share about managing Trello in larger organizations. But before we begin, would you allow me to know this wonderful group better? Do you mind? Can you please raise your hand if you have any Trello users in your organization? Okay, lots of hands. For anyone who didn't raise a hand, I must tell, sometimes there are some surprises. So if you come by Trello booth and we can just check together, it could be interesting discoveries. So feel free to swing by the Trello booth. Another question, are there any Trello Enterprise admins in the room? Someone who hands-on managing Trello. Awesome, fantastic. And anyone representing an organization who is in some consideration phase for either Atlassian Together or Trello Enterprise? Okay, very good, awesome. So happy to have you here today. So let's start with some quick primer on Trello in the business environment. So when you're just using Trello alone by yourself, probably for some personal life tasks, so Trello Free is the way to go. Just get most of the things you may need. And if you're using Trello to get your work done with your immediate team, Trello Premium is a natural choice, have some advanced features to boost your group collaboration. And if your job is to oversee dozens or hundreds of teams using Trello in the organization, then visibility of users, security of their content, control of their permissions is top of mind. So this is where Trello Enterprise comes in as a solution for multiple Trello teams in a large organization. And for this presentation, we're going to focus exclusively on Trello Enterprise plan. So Trello Enterprise, how does it practically achieve this security of content, control of users' permissions? Trello Enterprise have its own administration dashboard tool, which all of our admins are using today to achieve all of that and just like basically secure their Trello user bases. However, certain theme comes up in many of the conversations, which is I need to manage all Atlassian products in my organization in the same place consistently, including Trello. We've been hearing this from many Trello Enterprise admins. So Jira and Confluence have their own administration home, Atlassian Admin. For those who are managing these products, you very well know this administration tool. And Trello Dashboard and Atlassian Admin both have great capabilities. But there are just two different things. And why would you learn the two and go for the steeper learning curve? And why would you jump between the two tools? Sometimes it just doesn't make much sense. So I think you would agree. I'm happy to share that we're actually bringing Trello Enterprise into Atlassian Admin. And finally, you can manage all of your Atlassian products consistently in the same place as you used to do this with Jira and Confluence, JSM, and other Atlassian products. This new experience is already available to some customers, and we will be making it a new default experience for everyone throughout the year. So going forward, you should expect to find Trello in all of the user management tools in Atlassian Admin. And I suggest we take a quick tour of what the Trello Enterprise Administration will look like onwards with these new changes. So let's take a single user, someone who needs access to Trello Enterprise. How we go about helping her with that. So first, in Atlassian Admin, we find this user in the directory. So we have all information on her. We see which products this user have access to, which groups she's a part of. And now let's add another product access to her, like Trello. So we can define here what role we should grant to her, whether product admin or regular user. And of course, now she have access to Trello as well, in the same way as you used to do this with other Atlassian products. So now this user have the elevated experience with upgraded features. She's now can more easily collaborate with other enterprise users. And of course, she's now covered by all the Trello-specific administration policies, which we're going to touch in more detail in a few moments. So you may ask, like, well, taking care of one user is like nothing. How do you go about managing user access in bulk? You're right. One thing which Trello Enterprise has been missing in the past is the concept of user groups, which is something which I'm sure anyone using Atlassian Admin managing other products is very well familiar with. So going forward, in the same way as with Jira and Confluence, we will be making it possible to organize Trello users into groups and grant or revoke access to the entire group altogether. So there are some default groups here, Trello admins and Trello users. We just hold all of the users with the respective level of access. And you can always set up some custom groups, for example, on departmental basis, like marketing or finance team here on the screen. So each group can be nicely configured. Some of you know the drill already, but for anyone who is not familiar, so you can define which users can be in the group for using Trello, what other products should they have, which is the bottom part of the screen. And this screen actually reminds me a story, which reminds me of the time when this was just a designer sketch. And we had a conversation with one of the enterprise admins, showing this early sketch to this person and asking for some feedback. And we've got a surprising response that like, well, I don't really want to be on the screen or like to click anything on the screen. And I'd rather have all the user provisioning be fully automated. Well, guess what? We're also making it possible now to provision and deprovision Trello users automatically through your identity provider with SCIM. So in the same way as many of you may be familiar for during Confluence, you can sync groups, required groups from your identity provider and define Trello access this way. Well, now, isn't it a good piece of news for anyone managing Trello Enterprise at scale? Hell yeah, I think it is. So what we've covered is reviewing users in the familiar place in Atlassian Admin, granting or revoking their access in Atlassian Admin, as well as automating user provisioning with SCIM. So what if you need some more granular admin actions? Trello Admin Dashboard, while becoming more of a supportive tool, isn't go anywhere, and you can still continue using it like as your assistant tool. So you can easily navigate from Atlassian Admin to the Trello Admin Dashboard and vice versa. We have updated the homepage to give like a quick links to the main capabilities in Atlassian Admin. And I suggest we take also a quick tour of all the capabilities which exist here and nicely complement what's the core user management features in Atlassian Admin. So the screens which give you access to your Trello users are still here. This is where you review, audit, and export your users. And while this functionality now is also available in Atlassian Admin, this just gives you like some more Trello-focused view, which could be helpful to someone who is only responsible for Trello deployment in the organization. For example, if you're not managing other products. This free managed account section will give you a list of your non-licensed Shadow IT users, so you can review those and act on those as needed. For example, add them to Enterprise for elevated experience and security of these users. Directory of Trello workspaces can still be found here. So unlike Trello Premium, Trello Enterprise allows you to have multiple workspaces so that the team work can be organized and cataloged better. And Enterprise workspace section here gives you a list of all the licensed, secured workspaces. And non-enterprise workspaces is basically your Shadow IT, something which you can identify, review, and act on it. Also, if you have any free users on your organization domains, which requested access to Trello Enterprise, you can always find this request in the pending workspaces section right here. Last but not least, a wealth of additional Trello-specific security policies and settings can be found here. Like you can see what board guests exist in the organization, someone who are just invited to a single board for some short-term collaboration, as well as you can define some policies and rules depending on your organization requirements, like what type of users can join a workspace, who can or cannot be invited as a board guests, what type of attachments are allowed on Trello boards, and what power-ups can be enabled. All of this. Our team would be more than happy to give you like a more detailed, in-depth demo. Please come by to our Trello booth if you're interested. So we'd be happy to do that. For now, let's recap. Trello Enterprise is now becoming a part of Atlassian Admin. This is where you will be finding this going forward. You now can organize Trello users into groups, and even better, you can fully automate user provisioning and deprovisioning with SCIM, your identity provider. Trello Enterprise Admin Dashboard isn't going anywhere, but becoming more a supportive tool for more Trello-specific operations. And first customers already getting this experience. Well, we will be making this a default throughout this year. Well, throughout this year may sound pretty long, But good news is that we're in Vegas, and while we're in Vegas, I really invite you to our Trello booth because there are good chances that we can suggest some simple, quick steps to individually expedite this rollout to your organizations. So please come by if you're interested so we can see if this experience could be brought to you much sooner. And with that, that's a wrap. Thank you so much for coming for this session. I'd be happy to take any questions here after the session or at our booth. Thank you so much.